Okay, I think we're streaming. Let me double check. Refresh the Twitch tab. Yep, we're live.
All right. Good
Very
deal, Tim.
cool.
You're going to bring us in, right?
I am, yes. I'm just trying to get our window. Okay, there we go. Now I can see us. All right, is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Everybody, are we sure? We all hype? We're ready?
Woo!
Ready to rock and roll.
Oh my gosh, settle down, Jesse. Jeez, I didn't mean that ready. All right, here we go. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 336, recorded on July 29th, 2021. On tonight's episode, with special guest David Ernsberger, we talk about new Pokémon Snap updates, surprise NSO SP game launch, and other non-Nintendo newsworthy events. All exciting stuff because we are so busy with news this week. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, guys? No, you are not hearing things. It's Marty here from Nintendo Dads, and I'm back for episode 336. It is July the 29th, 2021, and we've got several things to talk about tonight, but we also have several of the finest gentlemen in the galaxy assembled tonight to talk about all things Nintendo, in, out, in between, and some things that are not. Joining me on the show tonight is Mr. Jesse Waldack. How are you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. And you can say that statement now because Justin left.
That's true. That's true. He has abandoned us in our hour of need.
Yeah, he was on during our pre-show to heckle us a little bit, and then he bugged out.
Yeah, Justin's got some family stuff going on. He'll be back here next week. But who is here? Tim Off, all the way from the snowy white north. Not real snowy right now, but
A little bit of snow would probably help cool things down. It is in the 90s again here in Michigan, but we're staying
at
cool
99,
indoors.
which is like almost or 38 degrees Celsius with those.
Yeah, and you
that
can
scale.
keep that. You can
It's
keep all
down
that.
here where I am right now, we're currently at Satan's front porch.
Yeah,
That's just what it says.
you guys can keep all that. That's fine.
Yeah, we want to give it away, but it's not going anywhere. Also joining us on the show tonight, the host with the most, the OG Patreon producer, Dave Ernsberger. How you doing, buddy?
Evening, Marty. Evening, everybody. I'm doing great, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And during the intro, I realized that once again during the pre-show, I called Justin Jason by accident. So no wonder he's not here. You know?
Well,
That's why I
you
laughed.
did that. You did that because that was the name that was shown
it
on the
gets
screen.
It gets me every time, man. I listen to the show all the time. I know
thought-
his name is Justin, but oh well.
I thought you did that on purpose because we always pick on him when
Yeah,
as well.
I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. Anyway, good to see y'all.
You know, we don't really care what we call it. I mean, he just responds, and then usually, he just responds with demands of us.
Oh yeah, that sounds right. Probably just as well he doesn't know exactly where I'm coming from. Then just keep him off balance, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, we actually celebrate the weeks he's not here because it means it's less for us to do after the podcast is over.
Yeah. More chill.
That's right. Well, guys, we're going to chill out and talk about several news items here in just a minute. But before we do that, Jesse, you know what you got to do. There it is. And our news each and every week is brought to you by you over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for just $1 a month, you can join in with a fantabulous community that right now is playing golf and alerting each other that Zelda acrylic prints have gone up on My Nintendo, are sharing parenting advice and all kinds of things in between. Particularly, you never know what kind of animated gifts are going to show up in the Dads After Dark channel. And so you can start out at $1 a month, or you could be like Dave and you could be a $30 a month Patreon producer where you secure your spot to come on the show and hang out with us. And there's tiers in between those as well. And now, if you haven't joined up yet, there is a yearly billing option as well. And it helps you basically get, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong here. Is it 2 months or 1 month for free?
It's 1 month.
One
free.
month for free.
I think
so.
it's not. I don't think it's exact, but it's close. It's like
It's close.
It's like a 12% discount.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's there. So yeah, it's save a little bit on Nintendo Dads by going doing the yearly option, and we gladly welcome that and appreciate it. Also, right now we are currently sponsored by our good friends at Manscaped, and we want you guys to watch this real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, support for Nintendo Dads is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in below-the-belt men's grooming champions of the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me talk about Manscaped for the last month now. It is absolutely fantastic. There is no doubt about it. I use the product. The gents use the product. We all absolutely love the product. But I want to give you this. I want you to noodle around on this. Ladies and gentlemen, I am presenting to you that potentially, probably, maybe, I believe Nintendo characters use Manscaped. And let me show you or provide to you some examples. So picture in your mind, ladies and gentlemen, you know, recently we saw the Breath of the Wild trailer 2. Link is falling from the sky. You see kind of like a kind of a toga going on. Link has no body hair. He appears to have no body hair. Ladies and gentlemen, why? Because Link uses Manscaped. Let's talk about our next fella, of course, Donkey Kong. Well, Donkey Kong is a hairy ape. He doesn't use Manscaped, but let me tell you, if he did, he would be like one of the over 2 million gentlemen from around the world who absolutely use Manscaped. Now, I'm glad that he's not, because the idea of a completely bald ape kind of frightens me. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you one more. One more, and I think this has been hiding in plain sight. The mustachio plumber himself, Mario, I fully believe he also uses Manscaped. And let me tell you why. Super Mario Odyssey came out a couple of years ago, and the internet went on fire, ladies and gentlemen, when there's a picture of Mario wearing shorts, running around a beach, shirt off. Ladies and gentlemen, that plumber has been stoating the same mustache for over 40 years. He is a well-groomed, well-kept gentleman. And that mustache, I think, is pretty fantastic. But if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, neck down, no body hair. I'm willing to bet you if you went a little bit lower, potentially you'd see the mushrooms and a wart pipe that were cleanly and neatly trimmed as well. Why? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, because of Manscaped. You think that M on the top of his hat is for Mario? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you that M on the top of his hat is for Manscaped. And of course, you can head over to manscaped.com and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for their support of this. And by the way, that code NINDADS, NINDADS, is good until the end of July. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to pull the trigger like over 2 million men worldwide and purchase Manscaping, whether it's the products, whether it's the other creams and ointments, ladies and gentlemen, now is your time to do it. And of course, we appreciate and love Manscaped. Hopefully you've enjoyed this Nintendo Manscaped journey with me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to throw back to the hosts. Jesse, back to you.
It's like I always thought for a minute he was going into Nacho Libre territory, you know, like, oh, they fancy creams and lotions. So you can head over to manscaped.com and pick yourself up something nice. Be sure you use the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. You get 20% off your order. And if you set up a recurring order, there's going to be money that you save there as well. So go check that out. It's not just below the belt. You can get nose trimmers and ear trimmers and things like that as well. That are actually really cool.
I got the blade. I forget what they called it, but just the single blade tool that they have.
Oh, yeah.
I got that, picked that up because I have to, keep things trim here.
Yeah, you're looking good.
I feel like poor Donkey Kong got totally body shamed there. Is it just me? I don't know.
He said it's a good thing he didn't get body
Oh, okay,
shamed.
all right, yeah, good.
Somewhere out there is an image of Donkey Kong without hair and Mario without a mustache, and it's extremely disturbing. But let's talk about things that aren't disturbing. With our big news of the week, today Nintendo announced that new Pokemon Snap will be getting a brand new free update on August the 3rd. It will include new areas to explore and new Pokemon to find. In fact, Mew was shown off at the very beginning. It also includes the ability to shrink to get a better look at smaller Pokemon. And the trailer shows you riding on the back of an Emolga for your rail. No further details were given, but some footage was shown off in the trailer. You can go check that out over on YouTube. Are any of you guys still playing Pokemon Snap? I know some of you got it.
Yeah, it's a good one to jump back into every now and then, but that's a huge game. It is huge. Lots to do in it.
Yeah, I think I unlocked the third area and haven't gone back to it since, so I haven't played it in a while and probably won't.
Dave, did you pick up Pokemon?
Well, I am still playing Pokemon Go very constantly, and that's all the room I have in my life for Pokemon right now. So I have not played Pokemon Snap, but I'm interested in it. I'll probably get around to it at some point and during one of the quieter periods, I'd say.
I wonder with this, if this was content that was made to they originally shot to be in the game when it first came out, or if it was we're still coming up with ideas. I mean, I think it's cool that it's free.
Yeah, definitely great support. Absolutely.
And very soon, I mean, they dropped the trailer today, and it comes out next Tuesday. So less than a week.
You got to be happy if you're a Pokemon Snap fan, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, speaking of updates, the Nintendo Entertainment System app got updated to 5.4.0 with the release of the new SNES games this week. And even though no new games for it were announced, when people opened it up, they found a brand new SP version of Super Mario Brothers 3 that had been added. And the theme for this seems to be 8s. You start on World 8 with 8 different modifications. And I think you actually start with more lives than you normally do. Is that correct?
I haven't launched it, so I have no idea what it is.
I know that there was, every suit that you can get in the game is there. P-Wing's there, Fireflower, all of that is in there. And I reckon this is to help people who are having trouble getting through with the game, finishing it. It's just interesting timing, right? Like all of a sudden, oh yeah, by the way, we forgot the version of Mario 3.
Are we still in the 35th anniversary year? I think we are, right? So they seem to be just dropping little presents here and there, not really telling us about them. I don't know. It's
just like, and there was another SP game that came out recently too. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I may have been on the Super Nintendo side, and I don't remember them announcing it, but it just popped up one day, and I was like, oh, no, hey, that's not. I won't use it, but I just I don't know that I see the need for those because it's like you're playing.
I will take
save state.
I will take a SimCity Super Nintendo SP version where they give me a bunch of money in it. That would work for me if I could have that.
Reality check. Unfortunately, you will never get Nintendo's version of SimCity. I promise.
You hush you. Don't pop my dream bubble.
I'm sorry. That's what I do.
Don't rain on my parade.
I bring people back to reality. It's not happening.
Maybe the save state that the SP version is triggers is one just before Bowser attacks.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Listen, full disclosure, that's my favorite version of SimCity of all time.
Yeah, I've got it.
The
Around here
music,
somewhere.
the announcements, the characterization is just top notch.
I spent hours in that game. Ton of hours in that game. That was my go-to game just to wind down. And you talk about your comfort food games. That was mine when I was younger.
That is one of the games that I really wish, like when they had done the Super Nintendo Classic or even now.
Agreed.
I do wish it would come out. I don't feel like EA is ever going to let that happen.
Let's not bring up EA again.
Well, I know. I'm sorry.
Every time I come on the show, somebody triggers Tim to go on an EA rant, and then I join it. So it's not a good idea.
Yeah, we're gonna try to keep him calm tonight. Here's something that might. No, go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
I said that EA probably won't be the only developer we don't mention in the show anymore. Current events. Look it up. Let's talk about let's talk about some game release updates that actually are happening. Very interesting things on the horizon. Picross S Genesis and Master System Edition was announced this week, and it comes out next week, August 5th. Jesse is already salivating at the idea of creating Genesis and Master System characters via Picross. Yeah, well, actually,
am I right?
We've known about this game for maybe a month or so.
Oh, really? Okay,
It just didn't have a release date until today. But yeah, even though
$10,
it'll probably be $10. I don't know what the price is.
Oh, it is. I just looked it up on Nintendo's site because I wanted to see photos of it. I was like, there's no way this is real.
Right. While I'm sure I'm not going to know every character, I'm sure Sonic and some of the other big hitters will be there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Kind of makes me wonder why there's not been a Picross S Nintendo yet.
Good. Well, they have done Zelda. They have and Pokemon on the 3DS.
On the 3DS.
I don't know. Maybe
this is opening the door. Another game that I am super excited about. August 27th, Baldo, the Guardian Owls is coming out for Switch. This is also going to be, if you're like me and you're an Apple One subscriber or an Apple Arcade subscriber, it's going to be over there with controller support for free. So that's where I'm probably going to play it. I know now I sound like the Game Pass snobs. Right, it's going to be on Game Pass. I'll play it for free. But,
nothing wrong with that. I do the same thing.
Game Pass people, calm down. Calm down. It's okay. Go play your 15,000 games and Battletoads that I'll never get to play.
I'd be
totally
playing.
Fun.
Well, Chris, what was that RPG?
Chris Tales?
Chris Tales. I'd be playing that if I had the time. I'm not on the Xbox.
Yeah,
but,
so the reason I'm super excited about this game is that it looks like a mixture of The Legend of Zelda and his name just... The guy who did Howl's Moving Castle and Totoro and all those...
Studio Ghibli?
Yes, Studio Ghibli. It looks like Studio Ghibli made a Zelda game.
Yes, it does. Yes.
And I can't wait to play this. Looks fantastic.
That's right. I forgot about this one.
It's one that needs to be on your radar as of right now. If you're a Zelda fan and the Skyward Sword itch is kind of getting scratched, or you've finished it, or maybe that's not your bag, Baldo looks amazing.
It does.
I can't wait for this.
Yeah, this was originally announced like last March.
Yeah. So that's coming out soon. Also announced today via tweet is Ori the Collection, and both of these, both Ori games coming to the Switch on one cart. It also comes with 2 digital soundtracks and 6 collectible art cards. This is coming to retail October 12th. If you're out there and you're a fan of Metroid or Castlevania and you've not played Ori, what are you doing? Like, don't play it now. Wait till October 12th and get both of them together. Get the good package.
Yeah.
Dave, I see you over there shaking your head.
I'm just surprised they got them both on one cart. I'm marveling at the technical achievement of getting them on one cart.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know what magic they had to do that. I hope it wasn't too much downscaling of the graphics. I doubt it because it's a beautiful game, anyways, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful game, and I agree with you. If you're a Metroid fan, that's a great game.
Here's the thing, Mike. I've dipped into both of them, but
Yeah.
there's always a part where I just kind of like something else
Oh,
comes
sure.
out, and
Yeah.
I haven't got to finish it. But like Ori and the Blind Forest that's my finished game this weekend.
Mhm.
Happening.
I haven't finished either one, but I've gotten pretty deep into both of them, and they're sort of perfect
just-
Switch games. Yeah,
They're so good.
yeah.
I
And
think I
so
tried-
tight and just
Yeah.
and I'm like you, like they look amazing,
Yeah,
sound
yeah.
amazing. I
And,
just-
and the main character in Ori is joy to play with the moveset and everything else, and
Oh,
the way
yeah.
it develops of the game. So it's a great. If you haven't played it before, it's a great game to play. Definitely.
Yeah. For horror fans or survival horror fans, Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater is coming out October 28th on Nintendo Switch. If I'm not mistaken, this is a port of a game that was on the Wii U. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
The fifth game in the franchise originally released on the Wii U.
Am I also right in saying it was only released on the Wii U up until this point? Because I think it's coming to other systems as well.
It is coming to other systems as well, yes. But I think it was Wii U originally because Nintendo had publishing rights for during the Wii era, Wii U era. But apparently someone else has it now because they're pushing it everywhere.
Yeah.
I think even Stadia.
Also announced today, sadly, Outer Wilds, which was originally planned for summer 2021, has slipped to holiday 2021. And as a non-Nintendo aside here, it was also announced this week that Kena for PS5 is slipping a month as well to September. I think it was originally August when it was supposed to come out, but now it's going to be September 21st. It's not that much, but that's like one of my most anticipated games this year. It just, man, it looks like Pixar made Horizon Zero Dawn. I love
Yeah.
it.
That one looks pretty cool too.
And so, and in a last minute update, Justin has suggested a game that has a demo out right now on the Switch called Greek Memories of Azure, and that's Greak, not Greek like a euro. So Greek Memories of Azure, he's kind of compared it to, didn't he compare it to a 2D Zelda?
I think so, yeah.
You control
Four
three
Swords.
different... Four Swords.
Yeah.
Let me throw out a better comparison here. Having not played it, I'm just going to throw this out here. Three different playable characters trying to solve puzzles and get through levels. Guys, this is Lost Vikings for our old Interplay friends who remember, when they made something besides, not Interplay, Blizzard. Which I guess we're not supposed to talk about them, but maybe somebody could take their good ideas and make things better than they did.
Sounds like they might have with this game.
Yeah, I'm going to be downloading this tonight and checking them out.
He
said he's loving the demo and everybody needs to check it out.
Yep.
I don't think it's coming out right now.
August 17th is when it comes out.
Oh, August 17th. Okay, so later this month. Definitely something you should look at. Moving on, Dr. Mario World, one of Nintendo's mobile games that actually had quite a bit of buzz around it when it first launched. It's been announced that it's scheduled to shut down November 1st at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, or that's midnight Mountain Time. In-game currency diamonds are already no longer available to purchase. And I thought this was really interesting that they chose to do this. And then they updated the game the next day after they announced it.
Well, they probably had to update it to disable the shop.
Yeah, it was like bug fixes and all kinds of other stuff. Here's the deal. When this game came out, I really liked this game. Okay, I really liked it. But
I liked it
then
until I didn't.
I got into the later levels, and it was worse than any Candy Crush or anything Match 3 ever was about, like putting you in levels that basically felt like you had to pay to win them. Did you guys play this game at all, Dave? Did you play?
Oh yeah, I try most of the mobile games just to see how they are, and I haven't really gotten along great with really any of them except for Pokemon Go, which is Niantic, I guess, pretty much. But no, this one I also bounced off really fast. Is this the first one they've put out to pasture since Miitomo, the original mobile game?
Mario
Run's still out there.
Right,
still out there. Animal Crossing. Whatever.
Yeah, home design, whatever it is. Yeah, happy home builder. I don't know. Yeah,
and
I don't think it.
Trailer Park one.
Animal Crossing Trailer Park.
Yeah,
but you know, it's got to be something not great if they're putting it out to pasture because they let these things run forever, right? So I guess it mustn't have done so great after all, or at least not on the further levels, like you said.
Jesse and I, great minds think alike. It was like, yep, that's the show title right there.
Bill started typing the show title.
Here's the deal, though. Like, they can do this right now because consistently every month, Fire Emblem Heroes and Mario Kart are making them bank.
Right.
Mario Kart is never going away. Now I say that, and then tomorrow they'll be like, Mario Kart's done.
Yeah.
But like that's just it's easy money. You know, it's at this point for them. Fire Emblem is easy money, and like. I have a passing interest in Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem Heroes is really boring to me.
Yeah, I thought it was not great as well.
It's not.
I did enjoy the Mario Kart, but I didn't enjoy the Fire Emblem ones too much.
The only Nintendo app that I've ever said, okay, this is viable, and like it feels like the game that it's trying to be in the spirit of was Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. That's the only one. Even Mario Run didn't feel great after a while. But I would not be surprised if we see others joining this because they were all in on mobile when the Wii U was sinking. But now Switch is going gangbusters, and they're like, "Nah, we don't." Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably have to spend some amount of developer time maintaining the apps, right? When the iOS gets updated and all those other things. So there's probably the more of these they have out there on the iOS, the more they're sort of losing a little bit of time to maintain them. I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
Dave, do you think that we'll ever see the Zelda app that was rumored, the Zelda mobile game?
I feel like it's going to happen. Yeah, I feel like it's going to. I mean, they've done this with, some of the franchises, right? But it's a big Zelda moment. I could see it being surprise announced at some point. It feels like it should happen to me.
Can I tell you that the only real like Nintendo app that I would be really excited for right now, and this is not like they've not said anything about this. This is just out of my head. Mobile would be a great place to resurrect Nintendo Land.
Yeah,
man, that was so much fun on the Wii U. My family and I were talking about that the other day. We were like, man, you remember when we used to play Luigi's Mansion and Mario Chase and the Metroid, game and all that?
Yeah.
That was so much fun. I would love to see Nintendo Land I'd love to see it get a revival anywhere, but.
Yeah, I'd like to see Donkey Kong on a mobile app as well at some point. It feels like a game that's kind of, with the vertical structure of the game and everything else, I can see that working pretty well. Even just the old Donkey, I know they wouldn't do it that way, but the old style Donkey Kong would be pretty good, I think.
I love that idea. Mobile Nintendo Land, that'd be awesome.
Let's do it. I mean, Nintendo, hit me up. I've got ideas, man. We could bring all the franchises over. We could get Chibi Robo on mobile. It'd be great.
Maybe going along with that, they could still bring it to the Switch, and you can use your mobile phone as a controller, like Jackbox type thing.
Yes. Yes.
That would be awesome.
These ideas are free. Filter in, Nintendo Minute. I know you guys are out there, not listening to us. It's totally fine.
Real quick,
hey, I will just say this from our email box this week. Somebody at Nintendo's watching us.
True.
Anyway,
so real quick in our chat talking about Dr. Mario, they said they're on level 954 and they spent no money on it.
Wow.
Let me hang on. We're not worthy.
That's AAA in our chat said that.
Hey, AAA. That's the right name right there.
Yep. You deserve that name.
let's diverge for just a minute, guys, and let's talk about a few Nintendo items. Dave, you also play other things than Nintendo, correct?
Yeah, I'm of the philosophy that I've heard us talk about on this show a few times, that it's great to partner your Switch or your Nintendo device with another console, so you don't get, FOMO or rage or whatever, Tim style about EA. So it's good to have another outlet. So yeah, I pretty much try all of the other devices, and I have an Xbox and a PlayStation as well. Yeah.
So do you have a PS5?
I'm ashamed to say I do, because I had to buy it off a scalper. I know, don't hate on me, man.
Oh.
But I only paid like 10% more for it. So I was like, I'm fine. So I have a PS5, yeah.
Okay.
I will say this: I wish I hadn't got it. It hasn't really done me great so far.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Somebody asked me the other day, "Is like, what PS5 game do I have to have if I buy it?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
you're right." Because Tim lent me his copy of Returnal, and it's okay.
Yeah,
It's not great. And Ratchet and Clank was fun.
yeah.
But I could have waited to experience
Yeah.
that until later.
Yeah.
Kena is really my first game for PS5 that I'm really, really jonesing after. And there's this new game that just came out that's kind of gave me Splatoon vibes. They talked about it during their last State of Play, Arcade-ageddon. But like I went and looked it up, and it's $20, and I just can't pay money for another online game right now, because I stay invested in Fortnite every season, and I'm paying money for the crew and doing all, and I don't know that I have time for that right now.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It just looked interesting. But the reason I bring up the PS5 is that PlayStation 5 Sony came out this week and said the PlayStation 5 has sold more than 10 million units in less than 9 months to be the fastest selling PlayStation of all time. Approximately 950 million, 9.5 million of those units ended up in the hands of scalpers. But obviously,
Well, for sure, absolutely, that's the case.
yeah. Microsoft followed this up with an announcement that the
In fact, I think Xbox actually announced this first.
did they really? Okay, so Xbox announced that the Series X is the fastest selling Xbox of all time. They did not announce sales numbers. I mean, Microsoft never does. But to compare, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch sold 14 million units in its first year. So Nintendo's tracking a little ahead of PS5. I would say that, and y'all know this is Nintendo Dads. I'm just throwing this up there before I say that. I would say that PlayStation 5 would be further along if it wasn't so scarce.
Oh, right.
Yes.
And there were games. Those two factors,
Right.
I think
Even if it wasn't just so scarce, I think it would be further ahead, because I think their PlayStation is riding the wave of having been the preeminent console of the last generation, right?
Yeah.
So I think people would have just rolled into it if they had the opportunity to do so. But if PlayStation and Xbox and Switch, so Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have all had outstanding first years with their new gen consoles, that's got to be good news for everybody, I think. It means the industry's getting bigger, right? Has to be.
I saw a tweet, and I want to say it was from Mr. Badbit of PS Trophy Room, and he was sharing all these. He's like, here, PlayStation 5 sold this, Xbox sold this, Nintendo's going gangbusters with the Switch. He's like, however you play, whatever you play on, the undeniable fact is that video gaming is having an incredible year, an incredible season, even with chip shortages, even with games being pushed back, almost like the which we've never seen, right? The likes of which we've never seen. And so I think it only means good in the future if companies will take this momentum and put it in the right directions. There's choices to be made here. And it's funny that this news comes and I know we don't have this in our notes, but like this, like you've got this big high, and then all that's going on with Activision Blizzard and the walkout this week, and the harassment claims and all that awful stuff that has come out of the lawsuit that the state of California has against them. It's just horrific stuff, awful, disgusting, and like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like this week, I had some downtime, and I wanted to check out the Overwatch summer stuff, and then all that stuff came out, and I was like,
yeah, it's ugly stuff, man. I think that the charges were repugnant enough, but the reaction of Activision Blizzard was unbelievable. If you're getting sued in the state of California by some state authorities, say, well, those guys are wrong. You're like, whoa, a little more humble pie would be welcome, and then maybe taking time to sort of think about what the heck's going on. But no, the reaction is a little bit kind of indicative of how the culture in gaming has to evolve to keep up with the size of gaming, because to your point around connecting both these things, it's such a massive industry. So many people consume the media format these days. The culture has to kind of come along in the places where it isn't coming along. It's come along in a lot of places, by the way, but these kind of backwaters of, let's call it 1980s style video game guy thinking have to kind of go away really clearly. But the reaction was terrible. Terrible.
And since then, their president has put out a statement that is clearly damage control. Like it's really, that's all it is. I found myself thinking about during this time, I almost tweeted it, and I was like, nah, that's in bad taste. But I know you guys will understand and hear my heart, because you know me and our listeners know me. But I was like, maybe this will get all of the teams off of working on the next Call of Duty. Like maybe they'll actually be able to make the games they want to make. Because I would think that some of that is some of the culture, and I say that because of this, not just because I don't like that game, but I think that some of the culture within the company caters to the culture that is outside of the company.
You get what I'm saying? Making Dude Bro games for 15 years, you've turned into a Dude Bro company.
Yes. Well, it's the Dude Bros in the company appeasing the Dude Bros out of the company.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, and Dude Bro gaming, and
I
would love to see that go away.
I like that as like an indie developer. Name your company, Dude Bro.
Yes, that would be great. If you're out there, you can have that one. That's free too. Let's move on. Let's talk about one more news item here. I thought this was really cool, and it's Nintendo as well. But Seagate confirmed the first M.2 SSD card that's compatible with PS5 this week. It's called the FireCuda 530. 4 sizes available at launch. Get your wallets ready. Here we go. 500 gigabytes for $150. Okay. All right. 1 terabyte for $254.99. All right. This is where crazy sauce gets started to get passed around. 2 terabytes for $514.99, and 4 terabytes for just $1,000, guys. Just $1,000. I mean, come on.
That's a PS5 and a half.
Come on, dude, bro. I mean, it's just $1,000. It requires a system update. These cards require a system update that isn't live yet, but there is a beta program that users can go sign up to be early adopters at Seagate.com. You can head over there if you want to drop a cool $1,000 on an SSD card that will be obsolete within the next 10 years. You too can go do this.
Is PS Vita storage magnified?
Oh yeah.
Well, this isn't proprietary. This is like the new off the shelf, because you can.
Okay.
These are designed to go into PCs. They just happen to have the PS5 specs.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah. It's high because this is the first new thing.
Because they're SSDs.
They're
for one.
Gen 4 M2s.
Does
Okay.
this get added to the current storage, or do you have to transfer the current storage over?
No, it'll add to it.
Okay.
Because the original 750-ish gig, which is really more like 650, is soldered to the board. You can't remove that.
Oh, okay.
And then this is an M.2 card, which
So expandable memory. Okay.
yeah. So
All right. So the price could come down at some point.
But here's
In
the
a few
thing.
years.
I saw a video about this right before we came to record. And to do this to your PS5, you actually have to take the shell of it off and get in there with a special screwdriver and get into the right part and put this in. This is not like the Series X where it actually has a port that you just plug a card into.
Right. It's if you ever swapped out a hard drive on PS3 or PS4, it's kind of like that, but a little different because it's not using the SATA interface. It's an M.2.
Can I just tell you, I would be interested in like an extra 500 gig, but I'm absolutely terrified at the prospect of doing anything to my PS5.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I have a basic point of view that if I wanted to open up my machines and dabble on their interiors, I would have bought or made a PC for myself. You know,
This isn't like a hard.
console.
This isn't like a hard mod where you have to solder or anything in it. You know,
I understand that, Jesse, but there's
an M2
always
slot.
there's the off chance that shell doesn't snap back on there.
Right.
That a tab gets broken or something happens, and then all of a sudden.
Once
You got a janky PS5.
Yeah, exactly. once you get inside the bodywork and start fiddling around with it, you try and put it back together again. It's going to rattle and shake and roll for the rest of the time you have it. In my experience, you know.
Yeah.
But we don't have the delicate fingers of a Jesse Waldeck. Yeah.
That's right. Nobody has Jesse's delicate.
Another show title: Delicate Fingers, Jesse.
You need more Picross to practice those.
Yes,
That's right.
there you go.
That's right.
Those fingers.
Well, guys, that's our news for this week.
Well,
I think we've.
there was the one about PlayDate. Did you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot that. Speaking of other systems, the PlayDate system, the handheld with the crank on the side, has gone up for pre-order today. In a stunning turn of events, PlayDate has been the only company to figure out how to do pre-orders for video games in the history of video games. And basically what that means is that pre-orders don't sell out. When you buy yours, you get put on a list, and when it's your turn, you get your PlayDate.
Yeah, Apple's been doing this for almost 15 years. What's taking everyone else so long?
I mean, this is, it's a cool way to do it. I'm glad they do it. They had an initial batch of 20,000 Playdates. Those that would have gone out in 2021, all of those sold out within the hour, I think.
Probably.
By the time I got to it.
Yeah, but by the time I was done, I reloaded the page and it says if you pre-order now, it'll be 2022. So yeah, it was like within 10 minutes.
Yeah, the first time I went to it, it said 2022. So I just said I can wait. I can wait till later. They will adjust factory production based on demand, so that means you may get it sooner than you thought you would. But guys, I'll be honest with you. I love the idea of the Playdate.
Sure.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with it,
there's some words you never thought of. You hear a grown man saying, by the way. But yeah, I like the idea of a Playdate too. Sure.
That's fantastic. That's also embarrassing now, and I don't know how to recover. But, the idea of the machine is a handheld with releases, like timed releases. So every now and then it downloads you a new game, and everybody gets it at once. It's kind of like push to your device, and it's looks like a standard Game Boy almost, just a little wider, but there's a crank on the side of it to use as a controller. I just think it's pretty cool.
I think the form factor of the Playdate, because I've been following it since it was first announced maybe 2 or 3 years ago, it's definitely targeted at the Nintendo audience, or has a Nintendo audience in mind. I mean, it's bright yellow, it's cute, it looks like a Game Boy, it's got like black and white games as far as I can tell, which sort of appeals to a nostalgia crowd. So yeah, I can see this hitting well with the Nintendo community too, but if they have enough to put into the market,
Yeah, it's a monochrome screen. It looks like the graphics are like Virtual Boy quality based on what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
And,
what I like about it is it seems to be requiring short games that are focused games as far as I can tell, which will also be a breath of fresh air, I think.
You're not going to play a 50-hour RPG on this.
Right.
That's what I'm excited about it.
And
too,
the crank
because-
isn't the only input. There is a D-pad and two face buttons.
Yeah. As I'm looking at it right here, it's small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, but the screen looks really sharp.
Yeah.
The cover for it is cute, and it even has there's a stereo dock that's coming later.
Yes.
That's a cube that like this thing. It kind of, I'll be honest with you, it kind of looked like it magnetizes to the front of it.
I think it does mag, and then it'll do a wireless charging that way.
And so it's a wireless charging stereo Bluetooth speaker, and it's a pen holder.
And a pen holder, and it comes with a
nice
pen.
pen.
Yes, it comes with a pen.
So this, I think it's really cool. You can pre-order the set together. So, and by the set I mean the case and the system together for $199.
Yep.
It's $9 off. The case is $29.99. The system's $179. So you can, you can get both, I guess, if you want, or you can do as you order. You can do the thing together.
I don't know if you can see, I got my Game & Watch Mario up here, but it reminds me a little bit of the Game & Watch idea. Right? It almost kind of looks a little bit like it here and here, right?
Probably the similar size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it because of the low tech factor and the innovative ideas that will come from it because of the creative ideas that developers have to have with it. And you get a, I think it was 1 year subscription, right, Jesse? When you bought it, you get a year subscription of games.
I don't know if it's a year, but it's basically season 1 of the
season
games
1. Yes, yeah. You get
free.
a season of games, and there's there are a couple that are surprises that they didn't say, but they showed off a lot when they did their direct, if you will, or their showcase of it a couple months ago. So, which was pretty cool, and that's what sold me more on it. And I've been following it just like Dave, for a couple of years. I think we all have pretty much, but I got my pre-order in, so I'm pretty excited and can't wait to check it out when it comes out. It's my kind of thing.
Is yours this year?
This year, yes.
Wow, nice. I would argue it'll do better than the Steam Deck. How's that?
Yep.
Definitely cheaper.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of that one too, but I don't have that kind of money.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's our news. Let's discuss something for a moment. Tim, you have a question for the group. So as we say down here in the South, let it rip, tater chip.
So I think I brought this up for Sean Capri and his group of people a few months back, because I was dealing with things at home and helping my mom get through things. And at the time, my stepfather being in a senior community, it led me to think about this. When I get to that age, or when we get to that age, when we get to a senior community or a senior home and we retire, do you plan on taking your games with you, and do you hope to knock out that backlog by then? What are you going to do with your time in there? And the reason why I ask is because, like I said, I've been seeing more of that with my parents, and learn a lot about that community because of that. But I noticed that right now, the senior community, if they're not active, a lot of people don't have hobbies they're into. And I'm just like, what are you doing with your time? I know when I'm going there, I'm going to have books I know I'm going to catch up on, movies and games, and just like all these media things I'm going to catch up on, So what do you guys think?
I love how you're pre-planning for your twilight years.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, I'm in my, I'm 46 now, but man, it's like, 20 years from now, at least, away from now. But man, when you look back, those 46 years went by quick. So,
well, it's funny you ask this question, Tim, because I've been thinking about this. Actually, bizarrely, I've been thinking about this a lot. You sort of tapped into a part of my mind that I didn't expect to be discussing, but I have thought about this a lot.
And by the way, we're still going to be doing Nintendo Dads in the senior community home, by the way. So.
Nintendo granddads, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I totally expect to be gaming when I'm retired and or living in a retirement community, because when I have spent time around some of the older folks who are there now, yeah, the ones who are engaged and motivated are playing games by and large, to your point. They're playing board games and card games. And I don't really play board games and card games unless it's like a holiday. So it feels to me like you would roll on through, and what a great way to catch up. But I've also been thinking I will not be playing anything that's Twitch based, I don't think. I mean, I already get my butt kicked in first person shooters, right? So it'd probably be more falling back to the things that I've always loved, which is the epic adventure games where it's just me going at my own pace. But I'm really looking forward to that. I have one game that I expect to be playing in my retirement home, which I'm keeping, especially kind of like a fine wine, I'm keeping by the side to play in my retirement home. But you can tell I've been thinking about this so much, right? And that'll be Metal Gear Solid 5, which I played. I think I talked about last time I was on. But that game just it will benefit from having an endless amount of time to just completely take your time. So I'm really looking forward to it in about 30 years from now, hopefully 40. I don't know.
That's awesome. I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I thought about this. I won't say at length, but I've thought about it before because, like, I've thought about what's it going to be like when or if I get to that point and I'm in a retirement home, because I know my kids are not going to take care of me. We've already, we established that. They're like, they can't even, I mean, right now they're like,
what you mean is you're terrified of the idea of them taking care of you. I know what you're saying.
That too. I mean, that too. But the thing is that retirement. Here's where the thought comes from, because in my line of work as a minister, like I go to these places, and I was in one. It was probably right before the pandemic, because I haven't been in one since then. And here was the thought I had. I thought these places are going to have to look so different when we're there.
Yeah,
there's going to have to be big screen TVs. There's going to have to be Wi-Fi. There's going to have to be like charging docks for all of your like. That's right. I got to charge my iPad. I got to FaceTime my grandkids.
There's going to be VR stations around the building.
Yeah, there'll be VR. But see, the VR stations in there will be way less intense. Like it's going to be like, like meeting your college sweetheart for the first time, VR experience. Learning to drive, reliving your childhood VR, like throwing a ball with dad.
There you go.
I mean, things like that. And then, I mean, just think about like the menu, how much that's going to change. Like now you go in there and it's like, here's your broiled fish with collard greens and this and that. Now it's going to be like energy drinks and chicken nuggets and mac and cheese.
Yes. Sriracha sauce.
Yeah. Where's my Szechuan sauce?
Yeah, that's a good thought. I hadn't really thought about that part of it too much, but you're right. The environment's going to have to completely have to evolve to accommodate our tastes. I think, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because now it's like
change too.
Those people there, they could be. We can appease people in a nursing home today or a retirement home. It's like by having an ice cream social. Forget that. There better be an ice cream machine when I get there. I mean, like
that's right.
Soft serve, sir. You can't make a cone that large. Watch me.
Marty's gonna be under the machine going.
And here's the thing. The bad thing is that both of my grandfathers were notorious in their retirement homes. They were just awful. And I mean, like. It's a family tradition. I mean, they like
you got to keep it up
with their wheelchairs and stuff. So, I mean,
you'll have to keep it up. Keep up the tradition.
That's right, Jesse. What about you, man? What are you going to do in the retirement home?
Well, I'm thinking. I think of myself when I have a week off of work. sometimes I have a game like I had Dragon Quest 11, so that well, took all my time. But if I don't have a big game, there's normally something other projects I need to be doing to keep my mind working. Otherwise, I get really bored and don't know what to do. Then I have analysis paralysis. So while I don't think I'll ever get rid of a backlog, well, gaming definitely will be part of my future, like until the end. I just haven't put too much thought yet into what 25 years looks like from now.
Bury me with my Switch 4.0.
I feel a new T-shirt coming on with that Jesse. Yeah.
That's funny.
I keep looking at my Switch backlog on its own, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't even know who's buying these games. It must be me when I'm in some sort of sugar-induced buying spree. But it's huge. I got tons to get through.
You must have the same problem I do. It's like, okay, I know I want to play this game. Ooh, it's on sale. I better pick it up.
Yeah, I found this on my desk. I was like, how did I get Kickboxing 2 for the Switch? I don't even remember buying this thing.
It just appeared.
Yeah, it just appeared. I swear somebody's pranking me in my house. I swear.
Ninfrendo says, can't wait for how many adapters I'll need for my game systems. RF to coax to RGB to HDMI to ...
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what my system here looks like. Because I have my rigged up so I can stream in television games. So
maybe by that time they'll just be jacking us into whatever system we want to.
It's going to be like Ready Player One, and all of our old decrepit bodies are going to be in the bed on life support, and I'm going to be out there with like the Master Sword in one hand and a Mega Man Buster in the other,
There you go.
like eating a giant donut. And
who needs to wait for retirement? Give me that future now.
Yes.
That is hilarious.
Absolutely. Tim, that's a fantastic question. And I think probably everybody out there, including us, knows the real answer. No, we're never going to finish our backlog. What are you talking about? For real, right?
Yep.
Speaking of games, let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we? Dave, you are our honored and esteemed guest. We want to know what you've been playing first.
Oh, thank you, Marty. I have gone mainstream in what I've been playing. I after finally finishing Hades about a month or two ago, I decided to, which was a punishing but rewarding and wonderful experience. I have jumped with both feet into Skyward Sword HD and Mario Golf Super Rush. I actually got Mario Golf first. I think it might have come out first, and then I got the Skyward Sword. And actually, as you'll see from my background, from anybody watching today, I have become completely immersed in Skyward Sword. So that's what I've been playing. I just beat the second temple. I am as far as I have ever been in the game, and loving it so far.
Awesome.
Yeah. I will say I really enjoyed what Andros had to say last week about the game. I think there's kind of two camps on Skyward Sword HD. The folks who were still mad at it for the first time around, and the folks who were looking at it with a new pair of eyes. I didn't like it first time around. I'm in the camp of I didn't like it first time around, but I'm loving it this time around. And I don't want to repeat what everybody else has already said about Skyward Sword HD, but I will add one thing that I haven't heard anybody else say yet, which is, for me, one of the reasons why it's so much more fun to play on Switch than it was on the Wii. Was it the Wii or the Wii? It was the Wii, right? I think it came out on, yeah, of course it was the Wii, yeah. Because it had the motion controls and everything else, right? One of the reasons why it's so much more fun to play on the Switch for me is I can just turn my Switch off, and it remembers where I am, turn it back on,
Yes.
I'm back there again. Now, that might sound like a weird thing to say, right? I can see you're feeling me on this, Marty, but if you remember the first time around, you had to find a bird statue, you had to save it. I got more angry the first time around trying to save it to stop it than I did with anything else. Never mind the motion controls, So I love that. I mean, the Switch comes into its own. When you're ready to stop playing because like somebody wants to talk to you, or you got to leave your house or whatever, you've hit your limit for the day, you just press off. It's great, and then you press on and you're back there again. So for me, that's been absolutely one of the biggest changes. It's just so easy to dip in and out and just move forward 20 minutes here, an hour there, whatever it is. It's great.
Well, I'm going to break in. I'm going to say this while we're talking about Skyward Sword HD. When I bought the game originally, I had the special edition, or the one that came with the gold Wii remote.
Yes, I had that one too. Yes.
I think, and it had a special soundtrack. I think maybe that was the only way that it came.
I think the first run was all, all that.
Like the first ones.
I think it was like $70, but then
then
reprints dropped the soundtrack and the Wii remote.
So
down to 50.
I can't say that I was over the moon with it. I like all Zelda games, but it had its problems. Motion controls were a huge problem, and it's over dependence on motion controls. And we came to a point where my Wii stopped reading discs. And so it was right in the middle of Skyward Sword. I had gotten to about where I'm at right now, which I was a little bit further. I was in the second Sacred Flame trial and had done some of it. And then one day the game just would not boot up. It wouldn't boot any games. And so I never finished it. So this, out of all the Zelda games, this and Majora's Mask are the only Zelda games I've never finished. So, and I'm planning on going back. I've got Majora's Mask on the 3DS. I'm planning on finally going back and finishing that one up this year as well. But I want to say this. And I don't know if people will be able to see this because of my background. I'm all in on Skyward Sword.
Oh, I can't believe you have one of those. Oh, man. I was looking for one of those amiibos.
Thanks to, I got this one off GameStop, paid way too much for it because I had to pay shipping. But
nice.
Community member DatFast, who's over in our Discord, and just he's an awesome guy, does a great job. He managed to pick these up for me. But here's the crazy thing: living in a rural area, these are sitting on my Walmart shelves right now.
Unbelievable. That's
great. The other day they had 9 copies of these. These are my absolute new favorite Joy-Cons of all time. If you haven't seen our unboxing video for this and the amiibo, you can head over to YouTube. I got to do one of those. But here's the thing. I am firmly in the camp that you just described as seeing it with a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah.
I will say that I've always loved this Zelda for the way the story starts.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's so different.
Yeah.
And I know this is like the beginning of the timeline, supposedly. I don't know anything about the story.
Me neither. Yeah.
I'm experiencing it for the first time. I am absolutely loving it. Is it a little bit linear? Yes. Is it proto Breath of the Wild? Yes. But man,
it's interesting because I've been really enjoying its linearity. I've played so many open world games in the last 4 years where you just have to kind of, including Breath of the Wild, which I like. Don't get me wrong, I love Breath of the Wild. Nobody, don't throw me hate or anything. But it's actually kind of nice. If you think about when this game came out, it wasn't 15 years ago when linear games were very linear, mm-hmm. and it's sort of right in that sweet spot where the games industry was kind of transitioning. It was trying new things, and there's enough linearity there to just, it's somebody sort of taking you by the hand and taking you through the story, but you're still doing it yourself, and you don't have to go with it on, you don't have to go anywhere. You can do what you want, by and large, right? But I'm just enjoying the fact that there's a story. It wants you to do certain things. You can kind of go along with it. It's fun to do those things. And they've moderated fee, right? So fee is not popping up every 30 seconds saying, you got to go here, you got to do that. What's wrong with you idiot? So they've moderated that. So they've taken that down a couple notches. And I enjoy the linearity. And I also really enjoy, by the way, the visuals. I think the other thing about the Wii originally was it was super smudgy, super smeary. It was the classic, Vaseline on the screen effect. And this is sharp and beautiful. I put a few things on Twitter. I know some of you guys have as well, of just some of the screenshots. It's genuinely beautiful to play the way that it was probably intended to be the first time around, but the specs couldn't handle. I'm also looking forward to how they weave this together with Breath of the Wild 2, because it's super clear. If you look at some of the things that are posted online about the locations in Skyward Sword that are also appearing in Breath of the Wild and how they put them. So some of the locations appear in both games, right? You can see how they are almost certainly going to do more of that in Breath of the Wild too. I think it's great. I think it's an absolutely great experience.
I don't think that there's any coincidence that this game is out right now.
Yeah.
With Breath of the Wild 2 on the horizon. I am so over the moon with it, and I can't wait to see how they tie together.
Yeah, I think it's exciting.
They obviously are going to, even from that shot of Link spread out, falling through the clouds in Breath of the Wild 2. Like, come on.
Is Breath of the Wild the end of the timeline? I never know where things are. Yeah, so one's the beginning, one's the end. There's something
while it's not confirmed, it's they're expected that how Ocarina of Time split the path 3 ways.
Right.
I think this Breath of the Wild is supposedly where they all converge.
Yeah.
Because there are elements of all 3 timelines in that game.
So, I'm loving this game. I've already put right before I started playing another game I want to talk about here in a few minutes. I was saving the game, and I put 16 hours into Skyward Sword already, which it's been my constant. It made me miss our golf, my golf round last week because I was just so engulfed in Skyward Sword. Well, that and just the week ran. Yeah, it was. I was like. It had engulfed me. Like I couldn't play anything else.
Well, you said engulfed instead of engulfed. So
did I?
Yeah. So
I think it's just because I'm from the South and you can't understand.
Oh, probably. But I took it as a pun because you were just talking about golf.
Yeah, I'm engulfed. Let's just say that. I meant to be funny. Sure.
Speaking of the Mario Golf, that is the other game that I was playing, and until about a week or 2 ago, just like you, and I just wanted to add on that one that I like Mario Golf. I thought about joining the competition through Discord with the other folks in the community, but I mean, if people are getting 20 under par, I'm not going to last 5 minutes in that room. But it's really. What I've enjoyed about it is it's kind of like a Wii Sports or a Wii Sports Resort for the Switch in the sense that for me, it kind of has that happy vibe and you're running around these locations. So I've been enjoying Mario Golf as well, but I'm not sure it's maybe quite such a keeper as the other games are. But it's fine. It's good. I've been enjoying it.
I'm ready for some more content.
Yeah.
They're like, at least like I would really appreciate tournament play with the ability to do it asynchronous, just to be like, hey, you drop in and play the rules and you add your score to the leaderboard, just like on the 3DS. I would really hope that's coming. I think that will add a ton of legs to this game.
I've been playing the story mode almost exclusively so far, just to kind of get all the courses unlocked and everything else you got to do, I suppose. And the story mode is completely bizarre. The further you go in the story, the more bizarre it becomes. I was like, I don't know what game this is anymore. It's weird.
Yeah, the story went south twice.
Yeah, crazy, totally crazy. Makes you wonder what they're smoking over there in Kyoto. I don't know. What are you guys doing here?
Mushrooms.
Right, absolutely. Okay. Anything else you've been playing, Dave?
That's been it for me.
Awesome. Jesse, let's throw it over to you. What have you been playing?
Okay, so I've also played continuing Mario Golf because of the tournament. The week 4 of the tournament is an easier course. It's the rookie course with light wind and with power shots on. So I tried my Mii. I need to level the Mii up more, but I ended up doing it with Yoshi, and I had a pretty good score. I think might have been 21 under, 19 under. I don't remember where I was, but yeah, a lot better than week 3 where I was like 4 under. I was listening to the Dad's After Dark show from Tuesday, and John says that, I'm not upset that I'm losing to you because Drew's like top 3. But the thing that he is upset that I'm ahead of him. I think I'm 25th and he's 26th.
Jesse, I got a question about all this stuff because I tried to get involved, but as mentioned earlier, it's intimidating, and your story only just confirms that for me. But I'm curious about the Mario Golf. Is there a leaderboard function within the game, or do we have to maintain this outside of the game?
We are submitting our scores to Drew personally,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's not. If we want to share them publicly, we can, but kind of that isn't
Yeah.
recommended. Otherwise, it'll just encourage people to try harder.
Right.
But yeah, and then Drew's doing all this calculus himself.
I just feel like in terms of new content, like what Marty was talking about before, it feels to me like if they could just add a little more in-game asynchronous, like you could play with your buddies kind of tracking, that might be a nice addition.
Just set up a private tournament that already sets the rules, and all we have to do is enter in a code, do it as many times as we want to get the best score, and then the game does the math for Drew at the end.
Yeah, right. That'd be a nice quality of life enhancement, I think.
Yeah. So if they're giving us an easy week after the rough week 3, I think they're going to kill us in week 5. They're going to do something silly. Yeah. I've been continuing Skyward Sword HD. I think I'm going slower than you and what my son did. My son's already beaten it, but I'm like 12 hours in and kind of still early on. Maybe halfway through the 3rd temple. I just got the Gus Bellows and then worked my way back to the hub area in the middle of the dungeon. And as I was playing, and I had to stop last night just because that entire desert sequence is mentally exhausting, even before you get into the dungeon. And I forgot that, once they threw the next twist out, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember not liking this, but I was able to fight through it. And
are you talking about the first time through the desert or the second?
First.
Oh yeah.
When you had to go to the 3 power generators and solve those puzzles. Well, 2 of them. One of them was just there. 2 of them were puzzles. Yeah, but so I'm working my way toward that one. I think my son was like, 37 hours or maybe even less, and he says, I can finish the game now, but I want to do the rest of the side quests. And he eventually did. I don't know how long it took him, but my first time through it, I think, was about 50 hours. So, then the next game launched today, and we did get a review code from the publisher, so thanks for that. It's Pixel Puzzle and Watch Collection. So this is, Pixel Cross, Pixel Adventures, Pixel Lines, that group of people. This is a collection of 3 different puzzle games in one, but the gimmick here is it looks like 3 separate Game & Watches that are then playing that on your Switch. So I did a stream of it earlier today, showing off each mode. I forget the names of all of them, but like Puzzle Blocks. I knew I wasn't going to like that one because I've never liked that type of puzzle. It's basically you start with a blank 5x5 grid. You select a square, and then that square, and then the 4 squares around it, north, south, east, west, will invert, and then you have to turn everything black again. And I'm like, I've never known how to solve these, so I'm probably never going to figure it out. So I showed it off to demonstrate how it works, failed miserably, and went on. Then the Pixel Lines is the one where you have number clues that tells you, I think this is on a 6x6 grid now, that tells you, the number clues tells you how many lines of the 4 are around that cell. It could be 0, 1, 2, or 3. If it's not a number, then it can be anything. And the goal is to draw a single line around the whole puzzle. Doesn't have to have all the numbers inside. Sometimes the numbers are outside. But it has to be one continuous line that meets all the clues. And I was able to do a few of them. That one I'm not as good at, but I'll fight on a few of them. There's 72 puzzles included there, and then the Pixel Cross, which is Picross and nanograms. They have 100 10 by 10 puzzles. It's actually, I talked about the UI with the 2E one. I forget what that was called, but
Pick2e.
Pick2e. Yeah, I had issues with the UI there. This has different but similar UI issues as well, but it's not enough for me to say I'm not playing it. It's something I will want to fight through. This one gives you 100 puzzles, and just like traditional Game & Watches, each game has a game A and game B. In the Picross side, game A will auto-correct your mistakes up to 3 times before you use a fail, and game B is you can fail as much as you want, which is normally how I play, like when I play the Jupiter games. So I'm just playing this on the game B side, but the 100 puzzles are still the same on both sides. That's everything I have.
That makes brain training sound easy, Jesse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim, what about you? What have you been playing?
Before I say what I've been playing, I wanted to answer Ninfrendo's question in the chat where he asked how long before they released more courses and characters for Aces, Mario Tennis Aces. And I looked up that Aces was released in June of 2018, and the first DLC, if I found the right information, wasn't released until September. So if we use that as any kind of track line, and we know Nintendo doesn't follow anything the same, so, we can't rely on this, but potentially,
statement.
Yeah, potentially September we may see some DLC for golf. We'll see. But great question. I like that question. That's what got me into researching that information. But I've been playing. I've also been playing some Mario Golf as well. Super Rush on the Switch because of the Monthly Mayhem stuff. I'm glad it's keeping me engaged in the game. And what I've been doing is I've been seeing what I can get my first try, and I submit that. So I haven't been retrying. One, because of time, and two, when I go do it, it's usually at night. I'm laying there relaxing and just having fun with it. And that's usually the first try. And then I submit my score that way. So the first game I did that to wasn't as good. And I think now that I think back of it, that might have been the only one where I actually did one more because I was just getting used to the game that first time we were submitting scores. Or I might be just thinking of story mode too. I don't know. But anyways, I submitted my scores for that, and that's what I like about this, is being able to play with the group. I also been playing Pokemon Unite some more. I played another round, still in the training mode right now, still trying to get my arms around it. It's not like I've been spending hours in it. It's more of, again, just kind of like, okay, when I've done a course in Mario Golf, I go to Pokemon Unite lately and then see what new lesson I can learn in the training side of things, just to get a grasp of what that game is about. And to me, it just is, I know it's an MMO, or a MOBA, excuse me, right?
Yes.
But to me, it's like a sports game. It's like it's a Pokemon sports
that's
game.
What a MOBA is.
Okay.
Like, it's an arena sports game.
Okay. That's maybe why I'm liking it so far. But I haven't gotten far enough to say whether or not that this game is like, oh yeah, I'm into MOBAs or something. But I'm still having fun with it. And then the other game I was playing because of joining the All In podcast on their Keep Nintendo Weird show. I joined Seth there, and we talked about Elite Beat Agents. So I brought out my Elite Beat Agents game again for the DS. Played a little bit of it just to refresh my memory on it, and also watched a documentary on it too, actually, about the creation of that game. But I loved Elite Beat Agents for the DS, and I actually hope and wish that Nintendo, when they start dipping into the weird bucket again, they work with the developers there and come out with an Elite Beat Agents 2 for the US. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I got to experience that again. And if anybody's interested, the podcast or the videos out there on the All In Podcasts YouTube channel, they have their videos called Keeping Nintendo Weird, and that was a lot of fun to do with Seth. So shout out to them guys for letting me come on and chat with them. So awesome. That's what and one more thing too. I didn't play this, but Sam did, and I wanted to share
Sam.
this. Yeah, he says hi, of course, to everybody. And he every time I forget to say that, he's always telling me, "Did you say hi?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I forgot." And he's like, "Oh, I want you to say hi." But anyways, he is super proud of the fact that he's beaten a very hard DLC for Doom Eternal, Ancient Gods Part 2. He beat that and was super thrilled. And I was actually looking into some things because he was having such a hard time with it. I was trying to see if maybe he didn't have some sort of setting right or whatever, but I've been reading a lot of people who have been complaining about how hard this is or how challenging it is or liking how challenging it is. And he was like, I told him, I said, you can do it. It's going to be harder than what you're used to, and he did. And he's super proud of it.
That's awesome.
So
good job, Sam. I haven't put more
Oh,
than
to be
2
young
hours.
again.
Yeah.
I haven't put more than 2 hours into Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's an accomplishment in and of itself. He's not only has he beat the game, he's beat the DLC.
Yep. It's it comes with territory when you got summer off for school,
He's given hope to all of us backloggers everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
One more thing I wanted to mention about Pixel Puzzle and Watch Collection. So when you are actually playing the games, it's like the whole Game & Watch system is your full screen, and it does react to like the gyro motions. You can turn it off if you want. I was using a Pro Controller, but it would make more sense doing it if you're holding the Switch and moving it around. You can see kind of like the lighting and shading move. That was a cool effect.
Oh, that's cool.
When you're playing in handheld mode, you can use the touch screen to push the buttons as if it was a real Game & Watch system, including if you push down on the LCD parts, you get the artifacting when you're connecting.
Oh wow!
Connecting wires that aren't meant to be connected. And that was a nice little add-on. I couldn't show that in stream because there's no way I can duplicate that. At least that I found. But I did undock it and test it, and it worked. It was pretty funny.
That's cool. I really like it when developers go the extra mile and do things like that they really don't have to do, but they do, and it's good. It's just good. Agree. Developers, if you're out there listening and you hear that, go the extra mile. We'll pay for it.
As I'm playing it, I was just thinking, I wish these little Game & Watches were real.
Oh yeah.
I would probably have bought the set.
Yes, you would have. I mean, like, several times over, probably. Right?
Probably.
See, we know you. We've caught on.
Yeah.
Caught on to your
I'm a
schemes.
collector of weird hardware. Thus the PlayDate.
Right?
Thus the Amico.
I gotcha. Well, guys, let's turn on the community spotlight for just a moment, shall we? Awesome. And right now we want to just say a huge thanks to our good friend Dave Ernsberger for joining us on the show. Dave has been our longest and most stalwart patron producer in at that level from the very start. And man, we just want to say again how thankful we are to you for all that you do and for the show and the way you've supported us. We love the dialogue that we get to have with you, not only here on the show, but over on Twitter and social media and things. And we know you're a busy man and you travel a lot and do all kinds of stuff. And man, just thanks for giving us some of your time tonight. We really appreciate you. And we want you to know that we have enjoyed having you on the show.
Oh, thank you, Marty. I was moved when Jason said such things earlier on too. That time it was a joke, but It's a pleasure always to come on and hang out with you guys. I listen anyways when I'm not on the show, obviously. I became a Patreon producer when this show began because at that time I was a lonely, lost in the woods Wii U player, and I couldn't find anybody talking about Wii U stuff anywhere. And I've always appreciated what you do on this show to speak to the Nintendo community in general, and especially folks who've been lifelong fans of Nintendo and hope to be playing Nintendo for a long time to come. So I appreciate what you do on the show, all of you, and it's a pleasure to be, I guess, the OG Patreon producer. Maybe is that what I can call myself now?
Yes.
Maybe I'll take my Twitter profile.
Yeah, OG Patreon producer.
There you go, for Nintendo Dads. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. If people wanted to hang out with you on social, if that's okay, would you mind telling them where they can find you?
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's actually what I was going to sort of mention today. Is my gamer tag is PikminD everywhere. PIKMINDEE. And so not just on Twitter, but also so please friend me on Twitter. I got like 117 on there. I could do with a few more. But also if there are other, you can find me on Switch. Although you probably need my code to find me on Switch. You can't do it by gamer tag, right? But if there are members of the Nintendo Dads community who are Xbox players, PlayStation players, I know some of us are here as well. To be honest, I'm always looking for people to kind of play the multiplayer games with. On Xbox and PlayStation. And so look me up there at PikminD, add me as a friend if you follow this show, because you're always looking for people who are good people to kind of play some of the online stuff with. And I figure some Nintendo Dad community buddies would be great on Xbox and PlayStation if you look me up on PikminD, because that's definitely got to be better than playing with randos, right? I mean, Nintendo Dad's definitely better than randos, and I'd like some more people to hang out with there.
There's a box quote.
And remember, Dave, that if they do find you on Twitter and they have their Twitter and you have your Twitter connected to your Switch, it is easier to connect perfect. That way.
There you go. Let's do that. That's a great call, Tim. Yeah, thank you. So so add me on Twitter. Let's catch up on there. Other consoles as well, and just trying to build out that Nintendo Dads community in other forums as well. So that's my pitch. Glad you called it out, Marty. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And go over there, show Dave some love, and play games with him. I mean, I
could turn my microphone on, if there are other people from the Nintendo Dads community. Right now I got it resolutely turned off when I'm on the consoles,
Yeah, sure. I don't talk to anybody that I'm playing with unless it's people from our community.
Yeah.
So,
I saw some folks in the chat talking about Fortnite. I actually don't play Fortnite, unfortunately. The building does my head in, all of the shooting feels natural. I don't know what that says about me, but other games I'm there.
I don't do the building either, but I do. When I do get into Fortnite, I have fun with just the shooting part.
Maybe I'll give that a go. I should give it a go. Yeah.
You can play pretty. You can get, if you're in groups, if you play with a trio or with a group or whatever, and they build. If you got somebody who's excels at building and you don't, they'll make up for it usually. So
maybe some people from the community can Sherpa me through my first Fortnite experiences.
When my son
also play Rocket League as well. Sorry, Jesse.
Yeah, when my son was more into Fortnite, I would watch him play, and I don't know what the button sequence is, but he had that down. He would just go like, and he'd have a 4-story tall building. I'm like,
as my son tells me, you can set yourself up to do that with pro building mode. And
I don't think he was using that. I think he was.
Oh,
he might have been, but. It was a lot of button sequence. It was a lot of button combinations and sequence to do it.
Yeah, I can't do that at all. And so go over and follow Dave and go play some games with him. We've got one question this week from the community, and it comes from Rush G. Tim, would you mind giving us a read there?
Not a problem.
I was going to say, do you have it?
Yes, I do. I have it right here. All right, so Russ G's question is based on the premise of the Free Guy movie, which I am looking forward to seeing, by the way. What is the NPC character job life you would never want to be if that was your existence? And vice versa, what is your dream NPC job and character?
Ooh.
So what would you not want to be, and what would you want to be in an NPC as an NPC?
Wow,
FPS,
that's a great question.
FPS trash, fodder. It's not what I would not want to be.
Right.
What about the guy who was? I used to be a soldier like you until I took an arrow to the knee. That is who I don't want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
Wow,
That's hilarious.
Is it the same guy, or is it many guys with the same story?
it's many people with the same story.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that copy and paste story. The first ones that came to mind for me were just right straight to the mind without thinking too deep into it was in Breath of the Wild. I just went straight to the NPCs in there. The first one I wouldn't want to be is the horse stable owner guy. I wouldn't want to be him because he's always like, seems like he's sad all the time or something, or you know, he's just like going from the front to the back, or that's his brother. I don't remember, but it just seemed like it was boring. But the one that I would want to be is Beatles, because
Oh, you love Beetle.
touring the, you know, and selling your wares and on your backpack and stuff like that, and then just appearing when, you know, when you happen to need them. I think it'd be fun to be that guy.
I think you just like the sound he makes, don't you? Hi.
Yeah, right.
I think the NPC that I would be okay with being would be, you know, also a merchant-like character. That I was thinking like from Dragon Quest IV, Tornico. Though while in Dragon Quest IV he is a playable character, but he's, you know, but his role is a merchant. So, you know, if there's a part of the game where you are actually on the back side of the counter, other adventurers come to you and you do the buying and selling that they want you to do, just like you would normally approach a merchant NPC to do.
Okay.
I know at least one of you wants to be Tingle, surely. I've seen that in the animation somewhere.
That would be Jesse.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to trust balloons lifting my weight, though.
Is Captain Toad considered an NPC? Then I would choose him as the one I would want to be. So, you know, in Mario Odyssey, I think, right?
Yeah, there you go. A nice technical call there. I like that. I would want to be an NPC from a PlayStation or Xbox version of FIFA 2022, and I would not want to be an NPC from FIFA 2022 for the Switch. How's that?
Yeah. I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. I mean, because if you're you know, on the Switch, you're in that game, you're barely working.
I'm going to get Tim all worked up here. I can tell. Yeah.
And your model's 4 years old.
That's what I mean. If I'm a FIFA NPC on the Switch, I'm sort of stuck in 2017 for the rest of my life. You know, no, thank you.
The pure laziness.
Oh, he's getting fired up. I love it. I love it.
I'll tell you one NPC I would not want to be, more controversially, is I wouldn't want to be Zelda. You know, talk about not having any real role to play and kind of being a bit of a vacuous character. That could all change, of course, who's to say, in Breath of the Wild 2, and she got a better part in Breath of the Wild original, but I think Zelda has been not a great NPC to be for a long time.
So in Skyward Sword, she
surely
has
not gotten good representation, has she?
I haven't got to that part of the game yet, so maybe I'll stand corrected.
Yeah, well, I won't spoil any major spoilers, but basically, while you were running around adventuring, she's got her own adventure going on that she's just
all right.
Half an hour ahead of you the whole way.
All right, fair enough. So, I want to be Sheikah. How's that? I want to be Sheikah.
Yeah. So people have been wanting, like, as a Skyward Sword sequel, to play what Zelda's doing during all this.
Yeah.
Because that is actually probably more interesting than what you're doing.
Yeah, that would be good. That would
I like Zelda's character in Spirit Tracks on the DS.
I can guarantee you Zelda is not trying to carry 5 pumpkins in a stack at once.
Bud, I just want to say, I just had to do that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How many times did it take you?
Twice. because I remember it. I remember how I did it back in the Wii, and it took a while. But yeah, it's moved very slow, barely.
Yeah,
moved.
you move very slow, but man, I was like, I almost got it one time. Like it took me, I think, 20 tries.
Ouch.
And
yeah, the first try, I was like 10 feet away.
Halfway through, I got there, and the bar over the thing to go in knocked the top pumpkin off. And how
does that happen?
You tell me.
Was one on this end instead of flat?
No, but it did it. And like it was almost a controller throwing moment, except I was playing handheld, and then that would have been
unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's episode 336 of Nintendo Dads. We want to thank you for hanging out with us, and to say another special thanks to Mr. Dave Ernsberger for giving us his time this evening and for being a Patreon producer. As we close the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our other Patreon producers, Antonio Contronio and Solo Something. Thank you guys for your support at that level. And really thank you to all of our patrons, whether you're $1 a month or whatever tier you choose. We appreciate you, and we're so thankful. Remember, you can head over to manscaped.com and use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, to get 20% off your first order and free shipping. So that's also in there. And we want to say a huge thanks to our YouTube followers, over 5,610 of you now, as well as over 1,000, almost 1,100 over on Twitch, as well as 20 Twitch subscribers who also get access to our Discord community and activities as well. You head over to our website, nintendodads.org, and check out everything we do over there. And guys, right now we want to say this as we close out the show. Our t-shirt store is going to be down for a little bit thanks to some takedown orders from the Big N. Yep, they hit us hard this week.
Yeah, they noticed us.
All of our shirts are down.
But in the wrong way.
And we don't get any reason why. So if you're trying to buy a shirt, hold on. We're working on it. You can find us, our store over at nintendodads.org as well. Once we get that back up and running, we'll tweet some things out and do other socials. You'll be able to see that. You can also email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. We want to say a big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show, and remind you, head over to the reviews part of your favorite podcast and leave us a 5-star review and some nice words. It helps people find the show and brings more people into the community. That's what we want. What's more people? It's right in here like a big hug, like a big sweaty southern hug. Not a side hug either. Full on, like both arms, big bear hug.
There you go.
Yeah.
In
I think we're losing members. We're losing members, Mark. Back away.
Okay, well, then side hug then. That's
all right.
A little pat on the shoulder. For me, for Dave, for Jesse, and Tim, this has been episode 336 of Nintendo Dads. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Good night, peeps.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Hey, man, you boo!